Welcome to the Violet Flame Experience podcast, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, guys. I'm your host, Faisal. This is the fifth of a series of podcasts where we'll be talking about the 12 chakra system. We have again with us Janet and Karina, who are the founders of the Unique Soul Healing System, the Simply Feeling Good membership website, and the Violet Flame Experience virtual reality app. So thank you very much for joining us again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Excellent. So today we're going to be talking about the fifth in the series of podcasts on the 12 chakras. We'll be diving into the solar plexus chakra. So this is an interesting one. So I'm looking forward to this one. Karina, could you start us off and let us
Yes.
know what solar plexus chakra is?
Yeah, of course. So today, like I say, we're going to talk about the solar plexus, and this one fascinates me. It's one of the people find sometimes this is the hardest chakra to keep in balance, but it's responsible for helping you feel confident and in control. It's about your personal power within, believing in yourself and your dreams, and achieving exactly what you want. The solar plexus sits in the pit of your stomach. So when you know you have that real gut feeling about something, that's what you got to listen to and keep in balance.
Excellent. And so, Janet, why is it so important for your personal growth and well-being?
Well, it's all about taking your inner power and strength, where when you feel you're sorry, I'll repeat that. It's all about taking your inner power and strength. When you feel your inner power and strength, you feel alive. So when you're in control, that's when you really start to feel alive about yourself and you don't doubt yourself. You don't take steps that are wrong for you. You just know. It's like staying in that knowing, which is one of the senses that we have. It's when you're actually feeling, yeah, this is right. I just know that's right for me. Then you know that you're acting in your best interest for your higher self. So when we talk about that, that is literally what this is, for your personal growth, because that helps you make the correct decisions
Hmm.
and that helps you get your dreams and achieve your goals.
Okay. So
Definitely.
let's get some context around this then, because I mean, I always like to do a bit of research, right? And looking at it from the mainstream point of view, we just did a podcast for the navel chakra, which is our previous podcast, episode 4, which people can go onto YouTube and have a listen to that one. What you will find when you actually Google navel chakra is a lot of I would say similarities between the navel chakra and the solar plexus. In fact, when you actually even Google navel versus solar plexus, it kind of gives you the information that both of these chakras are the same thing. Um, for example, it says on Google, it says this is a third chakra. When spinning properly, it's also referred to as the navel chakra. Um, but you guys have a different viewpoint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that? What is that? What is the difference there between what the navel chakra is and what the solar plexus is?
Who are you talking to, me or
Janet,
Karina?
Janet,
Oh,
please, Janet.
okay. Okay, right. Okay. What are you going to be looking at with the 12? Because we have been given back 5 chakras, okay, from the Atlantean times, which we touched on earlier.
Mm,
Okay, with these 5 chakras, you've got to remember that the navel chakra is part of the sacral chakra. It's just been split in two, so it belongs to the sacral. So that's all about uh, um, your emotional attachments to a lot of what goes on within the sacral chakra, which we did in the last few podcasts.
mhm,
So that chakra really does differ from the solar plexus.
mm.
So it's one of the ones that is new, which was given back to us alongside with others that we will go through as work through the 12 chakra system.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really got it belongs to the sacral, and that is split in two, and they mirror each other. It's like the male and female. So it's not anything to do with the solar plexus. And I understand the mainstream because they work on 7 chakras, where we're actually working on the 12, because we know that the 12 have been given back to us, the 5 that's been given back to us. So therefore, we need to be working those chakras, preparing ourselves and getting ourselves in balance and clearing all of the emotions that we don't need to be holding on to.
Mm.
And giving you
So,
personal strength.
so the solar plexus, then, from my understanding, then it's to kind of find that inner strength, your vitality, your ego, your willpower, your stamina, your inner power, which is what you're talking about. Is that correct?
The
Yeah.
solar plexus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
As opposed to the navel chakra, which is all about self-esteem, sense of purpose, and personal identity, which we discussed in our previous episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a
So,
clear difference for me, right? But
Yeah.
where I was slightly confused, and where the probably Joe public would probably get confused, looking into the chakras for the first time, is the solar plexus and the navel chakra being one and the same thing. So thanks for clearing that up, Janet.
it's totally different.
It certainly is, now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd put that in there.
Thank you. And it's obviously
It
quite it's a bit controversial, isn't it? Because obviously there's a lot of teachings, there's a lot of healers in the mainstream that believe that, and
Yeah.
they probably will listen to this podcast and think, where's that coming from,
Hmm.
you know?
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. I mean, we don't mind to have people having different views, as long as we respect each other's views. Then that's
Yeah,
absolutely fine. But,
absolutely.
um, yeah, that's what we know to be true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a deeper dive into the symptoms then. So we've already talked about the fact that this is relates to inner power and so on and so forth. So that's going to kind of, manifest itself emotionally and physically, through, for example, emotionally anger, aggression, low self-esteem, and lack of confidence. How does that then, can affect the kind of more physical symptoms, Karina?
It may affect you with some having stomach problems. You have kidney problems, liver problems, gallbladder, pancreas, conflict within yourself and with others, stress and emotional disorders, and do you know what I mean? And again, a loss of identity to a certain extent. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. And you have a passage from your book, which is a Unique Soul Healing book.
I
Um,
do.
which
Yes.
there's a lot of interesting things in there about disease. Could you enlighten us on that?
I did. I wanted to read just a page, if that's okay, that
Sure.
explained about disease and where it comes from. Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Please.
Okay. So, disease. Illness is the direct result of not being who we truly are, the divine in its perfection. In essence, we are all born perfect. But as our conscious minds begin to develop, we start to be influenced by our surroundings. It is easy to forget who we truly are and become out of balance. This may occur through incorrect thinking, our beliefs about ourselves, and could be triggered by cruel words or ways of others. It can also come about when we pursue power and or embrace greed, for example. It is important to understand that it is our choice and responses in certain situations that determine our ambient state of mind and body. Illness is the sign that the body is that we are out of balance. It is created in the etheric, which is the first layer of the aura, and then it manifests in the physical. The key is not to allow it to occur in the etheric. So this is where right thought comes in. The subject of right thinking is vast and worth studying further, but basically any negative thoughts within held within your mind resides in the etheric and then manifests itself into the physical body as disease. For example, if a person always has a sore throat, they generally not speak in their mind or the truth. Hence, the throat chakra becomes out of balance. If this is not remedied, it could manifest at a more serious level, such as cancer. If a person has a phase of skin irritation, it's most probably due to the person not dealing with an annoying situation and the effects results in irritation. Changing the perspective of the mind to correct thinking creates positivity and harmony within the subtle bodies. The aura is made up of the etheric and the astral, the mental and the spiritual layers. Doctors and surgeons can repair the physical body, but for people who need to be truly well, we need to treat the cause and the root of an issue, which is generally found within either the mental or emotional body of the aura, which we are working with the divine is the most natural way and the perfection way to restore balance and harmony in the mind, body, and spirit. So what that means is where we're talking about the chakras, where you can see where we're talking about everything goes back to that core sort of like seed and part of the body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it certainly does for me. I mean, from my
Yeah.
perspective, to kind of roll that up in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And Janet, you can come in on this and kind of add your two pennies into it. For me, from what I've understood and what you've read out there, is that this chakra is linked to the aura through
Yes.
through the mental body. So the aura rules the thought and the mental process of the ego,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
And some of the key issues that can affect that aura are power, fear, anxiety, maybe being introverted. Those are the things that kind of come to mind. Now, a lot of people don't understand the aura. It's like a kind of it's kind of an energy outside of the body, isn't it? Is
It's
that
Yeah,
like
what?
a
and it
magnetic field. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Janet,
mm,
can you add some context around that?
yeah, I think all of the chakras are connected to the aura, to be
Okay.
Mm.
honest.
Okay.
But when we're talking about the mental side of it, if and it all starts with that thought, as Queen has said, if
Mm,
you're thinking wrongly, then that is going to manifest. If you don't deal with something, it starts to manifest itself. And I will say it will start shouting in the body. When are you going to
Yes.
listen to me? Because the actual thought needs to be dealt with and resolved. And when you can't do that, when you leave it and leave it and leave it, and we do know because it's within our own. You will know instinctively what your problems are. You can ask most people, and they'll say, "Yeah, I know where that's coming from." But
mm,
very often we bury them deep as well,
mm,
and they don't know where it's coming from. So this is where healers can help, because then we can actually start to bring that out. And very often we'll find a point of pain somewhere else. So, but it all manifests in that aura. It all starts within the aura, and then it filters down into the body, as Karina said.
Yeah, so it's about acknowledging the things that are happening maybe in a past life or maybe happening to you in life as it stands,
Yeah, yeah,
um, which can then manifest in a person from a mental point of view, where, for example, this is what I'm thinking based on this conversation, is that you start judging others, um, which is basically a reflection of the parts that you're hiding within yourself.
Yeah.
yeah. We often say to people, when we're teaching, they'll say, "Oh, my mom was like this, and or my sister was like that," and we will say, take a step back and ask yourself, what are they showing you? Because it's a
Mm,
mirror image. What are they showing you? Because they're serving you.
mm,
Every word that's coming out of their mouths, they are serving you. Every action they do, they're
mm,
showing you something that you yourself need to take on board for yourself. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. This is where the ego takes over, because they feel they're offended, and they get upset about things, and then they hold all that emotion within that chakra, and that's where it starts really turning, and everything else. And it's like Queen said earlier, becomes sticky, and it stays there. But when you look at people and they are showing you something, you have to bring it back to yourself. Because when you bring it back to yourself, you can then say, okay, what lesson am I learning from this? Even with situations that you go through, good or bad, you ask yourself, what am I learning?
I hear a lot of the time people say, well, that's not my fault. That wasn't my fault. And we're not ever trying to place blame. What we're trying to say is, let's look at the situation, how it's teaching you. Remember, go back to the very core of what we're about. We're learning lessons on earth.
Yes.
So let's
And
talk about the healing of this chakra then. I mean, obviously, these are all of the symptoms that we've talked about. They're very, very clear. And I'm pretty sure that the audience understands what we're talking about, because for us, it's like, kind of, how do we solve this problem now, right? We know, we accept, we recognize what the issue is. um you guys have obviously, with all of the knowledge, with all of the healing experiences, you've managed to create a VR experience from which people can immerse themselves and, correct or heal themselves or align themselves on the chakra. Talk to us a little bit about this experience that we can see on screen at the moment. The name of this experience is Meet the Yellow Rose of Peace and Strength. um, I found this experience to be really, really beautiful. And when it comes to, when we talk about reflection, we'll see at the end what that reflection actually means. But Karina, could you talk to us a little bit about this peacock and what that means to you in this experience?
Yeah, the peacock is a beautiful guide that's guiding you. And it's just the most empowering. It's kind of, if you look now, it's transforming you from one round to another. And the beauty of that peacock is just purity that gives you the confidence, gives you serenity, gives you beauty. And so, yeah, as you see, with you being guided by an angel, that's you're never left in these experiences on your own. You've always got some kind of guide in some form guiding you. And this angel is transforming you into another realm.
Mm. So
And as you can see, we're now
coming into this pyramid, I mean, what I
yeah,
found very, very kind of surreal was, the direction as to what you need to actually affirm with these utilities, with the tasks that are being asked of you. Now, obviously, this
yeah,
is just an example. Somebody's just scribbling on the
yes,
page, but there's a
yeah,
specific thing that you're asked to do here, right? What is that?
yeah.
yes.
Exactly. You're asked what your deepest desires are, what are your goals, what are the things that you really want. And it's a space for you to be just truthful with yourself. And, you're not interfered with any influence, just your true self. And that then is represented that, the scroll rolls itself up, and it's then taken out into the ethos, out into the universe.
It's
So
beautiful.
almost affirming within yourself, the more times you do that, the more reflective you become of your personal issues, the
Yeah,
weakness within that
Yeah.
chakra, and slowly but surely you become strengthened from within, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 What I found really, really great here was, as you go back to the garden that you came from, it
Hmm.
shows you a reflection of the peacock. Tell us a little bit about that.
So you're going through the ethos now, which is stunning, isn't it? It's lovely.
Mm,
And then you come back through to the peacock, and you see again. That's what I say. You're seeing the reflection now, and how
mm,
beautiful you're creating. You can create yourself for your own life and
yeah.
your own growth.
Hmm. What is the
It,
significance of the peacock though? Because I want to try and to dive into the actual peacock in that particular experience, right? Um, how does a peacock relate to the the chakra itself? Is there any relation to the peacock? Is it just because it's beautiful, or is it because it's powerful? Is it kind of is it like a spiritual thing with the peacock that makes you feel powerful?
Yes, I think throughout um, our whole healing process, you are guided through our program through a peacock. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it actually represents luxury, glamour, beauty, and power within. So it does relate to that chakra, which is why we wanted it in this experience.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about the offer that you currently have on your website for the 12 experiences. How can people sign up and take advantage?
Yeah, so the way we can you can do it is that we have this offer at the moment where you get an experience free if you buy the inoculus through us, and you can buy, which is saving you £11.99. You
Mm-hmm.
can then also buy one each experience for £11.99, or you can buy the whole lot for £100 once the full experiences are all there. But we're also doing a great scheme at the moment for the affiliates, which is where people can have lots of offers and savings from, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Janet, what's been the feedback on these experiences so far?
The feedback on the experiences is, like I said, very often, people are saying that they just want more of it. They just want to stay in it, and it's the serenity of it. But also they're saying that they're coming out and it's gave them lots to think about, and that's really a good thing, because that sets the process, the mind working. Because like we've said before, the everybody's entitled to to create the life they want. And the universe is like a kitchen larder. God wants you to have everything in abundance and everything that honors your soul's purpose. And for that reason alone, if you're not honoring yourself, then you're not creating that for yourself. Do you see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm,
So it's, and you going back to the peacock is, it is about loyalty and, you know, grace and everything. And that's who we are. We do everything with grace and be loyal to yourself
mm.
as well. But the feedback we're getting from people just doing the experiences has been amazing. I can't tell you how grateful I feel, I haven't had one bad thing, not one. Everybody who has been has tried these experiences just want more. They
Yeah, I
just
mean,
want
it's
more.
worth noting that you haven't completed the whole 12 experiences yet, have you? And only
No,
6 are available on the website at the moment. But the one that we're
yeah,
showing at the moment on screen and that we've shown in the podcast is a demo, and it's not actually gone fully live yet. But you can see that slowly but surely, all your experiences are actually coming together and will be made available on your website for people to download. Um,
I
I,
think
believe it.
sorry, I
I
think
was just
also as well that the symbolic of the beginning of that experience where you got the red
yeah.
rose,
Mhm.
and you're actually planting, is they're the seeds of your dreams. They're the
Mm,
seeds of who you want to be, and you're planting that yourself. You're sending out those thoughts of what your dreams and your goals are for your life. So, and that's you plant that yourself. You feed it and you nurture it, but then take that back to yourself. Feed and nurture yourself. That's it.
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and thanks for mentioning that, because obviously
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on that as well. But my main focus there was the peacock, but we
Mm.
missed out the rose because
And it's
it's not
quite
about.
important. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not just about the peacock. It's also about what you've just said there.
Yeah.
Actually planting the seed, watching the flower grow. the
Yeah.
technology behind this,
Yeah.
is fantastic how you can see that immersively, but there's obviously a very deep meaning behind it.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, you're then asked to write down, your creativity and your mind, and that goes out into the ethos.
As in with the laws, it's all returning back to the laws. We've all heard of law of attraction. So, what you sending out, it will send you back tenfold. And the laws just are. There's they don't have an opinion. So it depends on what you're sending out as to what you receive back. In other words, a
Mm,
positive or a negative.
Mm,
And this is what we're trying to, get people to look at, to change their
mm,
mindset into a much more positive one, so that
mm,
it enriches their life,
mm.
and it
And what I
clears
liked
any.
about this, what I really like about it is the fact that, in the mainstream, to try and align your chakras, there's a lot to be said about positive affirmations, and there's a lot of content in the mainstream on social media about, talking about positive affirmations, and
yes.
doing positive
Yeah.
affirmations. But when you come into the violet flame experience, it's actually part of it, but there's a
Yes.
whole lot of other things that you've actually connected to it, haven't you?
Yes.
Meaning the peacock in this particular experience, which is specifically
Yeah.
for healing that chakra.
Everything you see will have a significance. Everything has a true meaning behind it. So, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much more to it.
Um,
Okay,
yeah,
so Janet,
I
I
was
mean,
just.
go on. Yes, please go
No,
on.
I was just going to say, it just reminded me of someone who, as a show once, who was actually, um, as we give the demonstration, she came out of there and she said, "I'm going to go home and write my thoughts down, what I've
Mm,
had whilst being in that experience." She said, "I've
Mm,
never had these thoughts before." And she said, "And I don't know where they've come from." So you see, it's already had that impact on that just one demonstration and that person.
wow. I mean, that just goes to show that it's opening up the portals of the body,
yeah.
opening up that aura to that additional information, allowing the person to consider the thoughts and feelings about how they actually are in this world, and how they can go on to feel a better life,
Yeah.
and feel like
Yeah.
they are, really healing themselves. Um, and of course, one of the main things about the virtual reality is that you can try it for free.
You
um
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a brilliant introduction, isn't it? Like, where, for example, you're so confident that the person is going to love it, that you're actually offering one free experience, which is going to be literally, you're giving away one experience at a loss of 11.99, confident that people will love it so much that they will come on and buy other experiences and want to experience more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think we should note here that, one chakra, healing one chakra, or being unaligned with one chakra, means that you're actually sometimes also unaligned, or, are blocked with another chakra, right?
Well, they're
Yeah.
all
Um,
linked together. So,
y- y- yeah, tell us a little bit
like,
more that on that. Just
yeah.
expand on what I was saying there.
Yeah, so they are interlinked with each other. So, when we were talking about earlier about, the solar plexus and the navel and this, the sacral being closely linked together, they are all sort of like, if you can, I don't know, do you remember you used to see them as like a string of sausages, didn't you?
Yeah.
So when you used to go off and meditate and she'd come back and she'd go, "I've got the sausages," and that's because she's come back down through her
Through the
chakras,
chakras.
and they
That's
look like
interesting.
her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so they are all linked together. So if one's out, then most likely another is out as well. But then you'll find other areas of yourself are perfectly in balance with each,
Mm,
and so it just depends on where you are in that moment.
It
mm,
also, what you think may be out may not be out. And we've had cases of this ourselves where people have said, "Oh, Um, my my throat chakra or my solar plexus is, is probably, been the problem, when in actual fact it's not, it's their base. That's
Mm,
been the problem, and we've worked
Hmm.
on that, and they can actually see that it's their base chakra that's out of
mhm,
alignment, where so their perception of it was, oh, it must be that one, but in actual fact it wasn't. So it can take, you need to work on the 12, which is why we've done the 12 experiences, to really put your chakras back into alignment so that you're able to go forward. And there's everything in those chakras for you to be able to do that, and to have that sense of freedom within yourself, and to
Mm.
work through any issues that you've got.
And I think also it's important to kind of say as well is that with all 12 experiences that you've got, that if you've got all 12, it's at your own pace. You know,
Yeah,
nobody's
absolutely. Yeah.
rushing you, nobody's behind you. It's just you and your own personal space.
Yeah. And that's so important for you as a person. You need that. You need
Mm.
that time for you. And we don't often get it.
No.
We're too busy in our lives to actually stop to think about yourself. Well, you could sit of an evening, put the headset on, and just relax and have time for you. And that's, you can do it first thing in the morning before you get up and start your day, because then you're getting up into that right energy to,
Mm.
to get up
Or
forward
last
as
thing at
well.
night as well. I find sometimes it's easier once the children are in bed and you finish work and you've just got your own time to yourself. That's a good time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So I
yes,
think
it's
it's important that people know how to get onto your website. So
Yeah,
the website address violetflameexperience.co.uk.
yeah.
As you can see on the screen here, these are all of the experiences that you can connect to based on the symptom that you might be feeling. And once you click on the relevant symptom, it will take you to that relevant page from where you can actually order the experience. As you can see, this one here is coming soon, right?
yeah,
Yes.
You've got other experiences, as I say, 6 experiences that are currently live,
Yes.
that can be obviously ordered. But as I say, when are you looking to have all of these experiences live on your website? How long will it take for you guys to get things over the line and kind of really have all 12 experiences available for people out there?
but should be within the next month.
Okay. But there's lots of other great experiences that people can try, and as you said,
Yeah,
you
Well,
can
you've got
try one
six there that
free
you can
experience
start
with a
with. Yeah.
yeah,
this,
absolutely. So
yeah,
so am I right in saying that if somebody hasn't got a Quest 2 device, they can have one free experience?
Yes, you can do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and somebody who wants to just try one experience, they could have that for just 11.99 a year.
Yes,
yeah. If
they
they've
can.
got an Oculus, then they can download it for 11.99. If they can actually buy the headsets from us as well.
Brilliant. And what about your affiliate program then? What's your message to all of the healers and your fellow practitioners out
We've designed you a fantastic tool to help you with your businesses and your customers, because this is a real insight for your clients. It will help people get more clients, more people to be able to do their work, and offer so much more for their clients and help them better.
And get
So,
paid for it.
and get paid for it, yeah, into the bargain. Yeah.
there?
And if their
Fantastic. So
customer buys it, they get paid as well.
Yeah.
excellent.
So
And you made it really
it's
easy to register as well by going onto this page here and putting in the
yes,
details.
Yes. Just put in your
yeah,
details and register. Yeah.
yes.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Right, guys. So that brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you very much for
Brilliant.
joining us. I really, really
Thank you.
appreciated the knowledge that you've given us today. And we look forward to doing more episodes with yourselves in the future. We hope this has brought our listeners some value, and we do look forward to carrying on the series with more discussions around the 12 chakra system. So, as always, Janet and Karina, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
And
Faisal.
Thank you so
We've
much.
really enjoyed it.
I
Yeah,
very
really
much
enjoyed it.
appreciate it. And as always, guys, thank you very much for listening to the Violet Flame Experience podcast. We'll see you
Thank
again
you.
soon.
Bye.